Hey, kids, what is up? Welcome to Tom Clark Reviews, the only pop culture podcast featuring a guy named Tom Clark that looks like this, wearing this, and saying stuff. Before we get started here today, kids, do me a favor, hit like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any future content from Boink Studios. Today, I've got a spoiler heavy episode for you. Stuff you may have heard, stuff maybe you're not sure about, or maybe stuff you already know. Who knows? But either way, spoiler alert, kids, you've been warned. Today, I'm taking a look at the end credits scene for Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts, of course, is the latest Marvel Cinematic Universe film released on May 2nd, 2025. So if you've seen it, like I said, you're all good. Hit the comments and let me know if you like the film. But if you haven't seen it, like I've said, we are going to spoil the life out of it. Let's do this. Thunderbolts, which, by the way, is a breath of fresh air for the MCU. I loved it. Full disclosure, really loved it. Now, I know that some of you are going to disagree with that, and I get it, and that's fine. We all have our own tastes and level of expectations from this universe. But me, personally, I'm in the bag for Marvel. I always have been. Now, we're not reviewing the movie here today, kids, but you can catch that review on the May 20th episode of Tom Clark's 6M podcast. That's right, available right here on Boink Studios. Shameless plug. So, back to Thunderbolts. Our new favorite ragtag team of anti-heroes. Let me tell you something, kids. As I said before, I really enjoyed this. Now, look, there's two scenes. One at the mid-credit mark, which is Red Guardian, played by the great David Harbour, shopping in a grocery store next to a woman, and he sees the Wheaties box with him and his team on the front. It's funny. It's awesome. And look, if that's all we had gotten, so be it. I would have been totally fine with that. But that's not all we got. We're talking about the actual end credits scene here at the end of the film. The Thunderbolts, now rebranded as the New Avengers, gather in their war room when suddenly a satellite feed blips in with an extra dimensional ship is entering Earth 616's atmosphere. The camera pans and boom, a giant Four logo rotates into view. It's the classic Fantastic Four emblem as their iconic theme hits, and we're off to the races. That's right, kids, the Fantastic Four in the MCU. Now, who is behind that scene? Glad you asked. Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier himself revealed to comicbook.com that it was actually shot by the Russo brothers just 4 weeks before Thunderbolts released. Talk about a tight turnaround. But if you know anything about the MCU, a lot of times they're operating in very tight spaces, so it's really not that much of a surprise, right? Now, why the extra dimensional verbiage in Thunderbolts? It's Marvel's way of hinting that these four hail from another universe, parallel to our familiar MCU, setting up their debut in Fantastic Four First Steps while preserving that sense of cosmic mystery. So here's my take. As an MCU fan, this for me was the payoff that I needed. It wasn't just a tease. It was like, it felt like the next chapter of a saga that I've been invested in since 2008. As I said, I'm in the bag. I've been here since the first Iron Man film. I'm not going away. I love this stuff. As I said, I'm here for it. But it also reignites the, what's next excitement, which, if you follow the MCU, that idea of what's coming next, what are they going to tease, and just that general overall feeling. I love when they can go back to that. As I said, just get your blood boiling, gets everything sort of heightened, kind of like a spidey sense. I can't wait to see what comes next. Honestly, this bit just reminded me of why I fell in love with this universe in the first place. And honestly, why I've always been a comic book fan since before I could walk. And I still am, by the way. Love this stuff. Okay, so what do we know about the Fantastic Four First Steps? The movie is slotted for release on July 25th, 2025, and marks the MCU's first full retro-futuristic detour, helmed by Matt Shakman of WandaVision fame. Now, if you love that show, then you're expecting Shakman to bring his knack for blending heartfelt character moments with stylistic flair to this film. Think the suburban surrealism of WandaVision, but dialed back to like 1960s sci-fi, and that's pretty much what you've got. Now, the cool thing here is that he's promised practical sets, vintage lenses, and a Kubrick meets Kirby aesthetic. Miniatures, immersive physical builds, the works. In fact, he told Empire Magazine in April of 2025, quote, "I really wanted it to feel like it was made in 1965, the way Stanley Kubrick would have made it, within reason," end quote. Look, if that doesn't pump you up, I don't know what to tell you. But hey, like I said, we all have different tastes. We all have different expectations. Is this the right movie? Is this the right look for the FF and the MCU? Let me know what you think in the comments, kids. I love to hear your thoughts. Now, let's look at the cast of the Fantastic Four First Steps. We've got Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards and Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, and Invisible Woman, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, Ebon Moss Backrack as Ben Grimm, the Thing, plus Julia Garner as the Silver Surfer or Shallowball. We're not sure which yet. And of course, Ralph Ineson as Galactus. Talk about a lineup, kids. It's a powerhouse lineup to be sure. By the way, all the hate people are leveling at Garner for being in this film. Take a breath, relax. My God in heaven, what are we doing? It's going to be okay. Just breathe in and out slowly. It'll be fine. Now let's look at the plot. Set on a parallel retro-futuristic Earth in the 1960s, the Fantastic Four must defend their world from the planet-devouring Galactus and navigate family dynamics under cosmic pressure. It's a standalone story that steps. See what I did there? Steps, because it's first steps, because they're stepping. All right, fine, you get it. It steps into the larger MCU later in Avengers Doomsday. Avengers Doomsday is coming, kids. Never you fear. RDJ is coming back. You may not have wanted him, or maybe you did, but either way, you're getting him. We'll do that one when it gets here, trust me. Now, why does it matter? Fantastic Four First Steps kicks off Phase 6, so its success or misstep will inform everything that follows. If Shackman nails the tone, and it looks like he has, it could become a new MCU gold standard. Oh, and here's something fun. This broke recently, so if you haven't heard, again, spoiler alert. Variety is reporting that Jake Schreier, fresh off Thunderbolts' critical success, is Marvel's top pick to direct the next X-Men reboot. It's interconnectivity for me. It's getting creators and getting people behind the camera who understand this universe, understand these characters, and have a great voice, and then giving those people more projects and seeing what becomes of it. And to me, I think it makes the most sense. That's what happens in comics. You give the titles to the creative teams that get it, who understand it, and who have a vision. And if Schreier is one of those guys, I say give him X-Men. I happen to be all for that, actually. Now, why Jake Schreier for X-Men? Thunderbolts landed $272 million worldwide and resonated with critics. I know it's not a billion. It's not as much as we wanted. I was the guy running around saying Thunderbolts was going to make $1 billion. Don't look like it's going to happen, but still, kids, no one can dispute what this guy brought to the film. Again, for me, Thunderbolts was a hit, and I really, really enjoyed it. Schreier's flair for character-driven stories also aligns with Marvel's reported desire for a young X-Men ensemble. Got to get young kids at some point. You got to recast Wolverine. We're not going to get into it right now. I know it's a touchy subject for folks. I love Hugh Jackman as much as the next guy, but these characters need to continue. They're going to continue. We're going to see a new Wolverine in the MCU. That's just how it is. There's actually already a screenwriter on board for the new X-Men film, and it's Michael Leslie from Hunger Games, The Bout of Songbirds and Snakes. He's already penning the script with Kevin Feige producing. And if this comes to pass, we could see an X-Men that balances blockbuster spectacle with the intimate storytelling Schreier delivered in Thunderbolts. It's ambitious, all this is, right? But it could be exactly what the MCU needs. Now, where does that leave us when it comes to the good, the bad, and the in-between? As far as the good, creative risk-taking. Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four First Steps prove Marvel isn't afraid to experiment, and really, what do they have to lose, honestly? I mean, you've got the IP, you have the story, you have years and years of source material to pull from. It's about time we get the Avengers back on track and get the FF and the MCU where they belong. We also have the fan engagement. End credits teases that really tease. There's no throwaway stingers or head-scratching moments that take a long time to pay off. Now, the bad. I don't like acknowledging this all that much because I think people make way too much out of it, but let's talk a little bit about franchise fatigue. Over 15 years, some viewers still feel sequelitis. Is that a word? Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, they feel sequelitis, if that's a word, creeping in. As I said, I'm in the bag for the MCU, so I'm here for it. I'm also old enough to remember the before times, before we had anything from Marvel. So whenever I hear people complaining about this costume wasn't right or how come this person's character is now female, shut up. I don't want to hear any of that. I'm grateful for what we have, and I enjoy what we have. So everybody just needs to, relax maybe just a little bit. Over complex continuity is like another problem, and I will acknowledge that. I mean, jumping dimensions and multiverses can alienate casual fans. It's the problem of, hey, I have to see every end credit scene for this to make sense, not to mention having to watch Disney Plus series before I understand who the characters are. I mean, I know it's a broken record that just keeps playing. We've all heard it 1,000 times. But, I do have to acknowledge that it is being said. Now, the in between. With Fantastic Four and a fresh X-Men on the horizon, Marvel is doubling down on legacy properties. Nothing wrong with that, and honestly, I think it's a brilliant move. Go with the heroes and teams that fans want to see, and most importantly, give fans what they want. Now, having said that, I will admit that not every film and Disney Plus streamer has been exactly in-game level fun and entertaining, but really what has. That's a hard thing to live up to. That measuring stick is massive. I don't think it's actually very fair to the MCU, if I'm being honest. Just my take. For me, I'm optimistic. Like if they can somehow find a way to balance emotional stakes with, jaw-dropping moments, we could be entering a second golden age for the MCU. Fingers crossed, kids. Fingers crossed. So, what do you think? Are you looking forward to Fantastic Four First Steps? Again, did you like the end credits scene? I'd love to know what you think. Hit me in the comments and let's talk about it. In the meantime, stay tuned for a lot more. Remember to hit like, subscribe, and please turn on those notifications so you don't miss any future content from Boink Studios. Thanks for watching Tom Clark Reviews, and we'll see you next time, kids.